Hey guys, so I'm so super excited to show you all what I got in the mail today. I have been anxiously awaiting this for actually not that long. It's only been like maybe a little over a week, and I had hoped it would come sooner, kind of expected to wait longer, so it was like super exciting to find that it came today. And I finally got a new veil. Isn't this beautiful? This was sent to me by, I just lost it, Veil by Tradition. This is a ministry that actually makes and sends veils for free. You just pay $5 for shipping. So, and look, it really is beautiful. Look at the beautiful craftsmanship here. Let me try to get a close-up. I have had the same veil, the black with the white floral embroidery, the same mantilla for ever since I started veiling in 2017, and I ordered that one through Veils by Lily, which I still think is a wonderful company. I highly recommend. Their veils are a little more expensive. The mantilla that I have is called the Authentic Spanish Floral Mantilla. I got it in the white on black. So if you ever see pictures, you'll notice like the white kind of shows more than the black does. But at the time I was starting out and I wasn't really sure which color I should go with. And I was still learning about, I had a lot to learn about veiling in general. I just was really feeling called to do it. So that's what I went with, and it's worked for many years. But recently, oh look, the culprit is right here. Recently, this little girl, she's having some problems, including peeing on things she shouldn't. And I had brought my bag home from Mass a few weeks ago and sat it down in this chair. And when I went to pick it up, there was kitty urine, and some had sprinkled on my veil, which had been laid on top of the bag. So I have done everything in my power to get the smell out, and at this point, I think I've succeeded. Praise be to God, because it was still, again, it was an expensive veil. It was the first one I ever had. It still has many years left in it. So that was a naughty thing to do, wasn't it, Shazzy? Yes, it was. But she's so sweet. How can you stay mad at her? Again, thankfully, I was able to, I believe, get the smell out. It was just... But anyway, it was really upsetting, and a lot of things had kind of gone wrong that day, and it was just like, God, So I decided that night, you know what? It's time to just do it. I've been thinking about ordering another veil. I have been browsing some of the veils offered by Veil by Tradition. And again, that's veilbytradition.com, or you can look them up on Facebook. They have a shop on there, or they will take you to their website, or you can look them up here on Instagram. But again, a wonderful ministry. They offer most of their veils are free. A few of the bigger ones you would pay a little more for, but again, for something like this, which is still very beautiful, they offer several colors, like cute pinks for kids. They have smaller ones for children. Just again, beautiful ministry. They're just there so that if anyone is thinking about veiling but money is an issue, it doesn't have to be. You send them $5 for shipping and you get a veil. And again, this is such a beautiful... When I saw this color, originally I was thinking of either getting something that was just black, since my black with white looked more white. I thought about getting a black or getting something that was maybe like a champagne or, more neutral color. But when I saw... When I saw this Our Lady of Guadalupe green, I fell in love. And so I've been looking at this for a few months and decided that this was the time. And so I'm going to try to... Okay, get down. You cannot get on this veil. We're not going to have any accidents. No accidents. This is smaller than the other one I have, and there's no clip. So I would like other ladies who veil, if you don't have a sewn-in clip, I have my other, I paid to have them sew the clip-in. Veils by Lily, they will either send a clip or they'll sew it in for you for an extra fee. It's not that much in all things considered. So to keep this on, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. I am not a sewer, so I'm either gonna have to ask somebody to sew one on for me. But look how beautiful this is. See if we can get the back of it. But I think it's so beautiful. Beautiful color. And again, like, I know we usually think of blue to represent Our Lady, but I have a blue infinity scarf that actually was like a combo pack from Walmart that I got years and years and years ago for like $5. And so some of you have seen me use those infinity scarves as veils before, especially when traveling. It's just easy to pull that up. So I had a blue. So this green just really was calling out to me. And I've really been studying more about Our Lady of Guadalupe lately. So I think it was just the right decision. And it also will go great with that new dress I got around Easter time. So again, just so excited to show you guys this. And thank you everyone who works at Veil by Tradition. Thank you for your ministry. Thank you for what you do. I have recommended you to women who have been discerning, veiling, and again, the little veils they have for little girls, are great for First Communion or for a gift. It's just, go check them out. If you're thinking about veiling or if you're thinking about adding to your collection, go check them out. Okay, so now let's get into really quickly why I choose to veil, why I felt called to veil. And the number one reason, again, is going for people who are not Catholic. They're still not going to get it, because if you don't get the Eucharist, then you're not going to get this. But the number one reason we veil is it's a beautiful way of showing humility and reverence in the presence of the Eucharist. So in about a year after I converted to Catholicism, I wish I had known about this stuff beforehand too, guys. And this goes back to tradition. We've lost so many traditions. You very rarely see women veiling at the ordinary form, the Novus Ordo, and that's fine. But we've lost so many beautiful traditions. And this is I grew up in I was homeschooled. I grew up around a lot of Anabaptists, even some Amish, some Mennonite, and they cover their heads, and a lot of times it's almost like it's if the girl, let's say someone didn't have their handkerchief or whatever on at a certain time, it was like they were shamed if they didn't have their head covered. And I kind of rebelled against that. That's one of the reasons I had kind of rebelled against wearing dresses and stuff for a while. I mean, I still wore dresses, but wearing, skirts and dresses more often. I was kind of I didn't like the fact that we had taken something that was supposed to be, we clothe ourselves more femininely, modestly, because to show that men and women are different, and we're different. We're both equal in the sight of God, but we are different. So this is one of the ways that we show our differences. Anyway, I won't get into that, but I had always felt like I was never going to cover, if I ever covered my head out of respect, around another culture, that was kind of it. I was never going, I felt that my hair was enough of a covering. There was no reason to do anything else. But as I learned more about the reasons behind veiling in the Mass, I just really felt this call in my heart. So, I started praying and discerning, and finally, like I said, in 2017, decided to talk to my husband. And because, for us at the time, the veil was like 36 something with the clip. It ended up being, with shipping, like a $40 purchase. So that was something I talked with my husband about, and he agreed, and so I started veiling. But like I said, it's a sign of reverence. The biggest thing is just, reverence. When you enter, again, it's during the Mass, it's heaven meets earth. And, when we really think about that, if we truly believe in the Eucharist, and we believe that this is the body and blood, soul, and divinity of our God, like, we want to dress modestly. We want to be as reverent as possible. That's why we kneel. This is why we genuflect. That's why we receive the host on the tongue instead of like putting it in our hands, and our dirty hands. Even if we sanitize, we don't want to risk dropping it. We want it to go straight from the priest's hand, who is acting in persona Christi, straight into our mouth, into our body. So anyway, that's one of the reasons. Another thing is, it's a beautiful and really powerful symbol of the bride of Christ being covered by her divine spouse. Now, Jesus Christ is the bridegroom, right? And the church is the bride. The body of Christ, we're the bride. So that's why in the Catholic faith, it's why priests are male. Why in the extraordinary form of the Mass, you will only see male altar servers. You there's no girls. You won't see. It's all male. It's all male deacons. It's all male lectors. And there's a reason for that. And they're not being misogynist. They obviously have a very high regard for women, but although we are equal, we are different. So women are, the way that we show our difference is men to take their hats off as a sign of respect, whereas women would cover their heads. And again, this is not about shame, this is reverence. And also, it's, like I said, a beautiful symbol of the bride. Saint Paul talks about women submitting to their husbands, and the church, just like the church submits to Christ. And I grew up hearing this all the time, women submit to their husbands, but everybody seems to forget what comes after that. Then they say that men, love your wives as Christ loves the church. Now, and how did Christ show his love? By suffering and dying. So like I said, I grew up in a group where men kind of passed over that. There was there was a lot of patriarchal issues going on where men were very, women are supposed to submit to men, but okay, yes, but men are supposed to love and cherish and protect their wives, their daughters, just women within the church in general. So and that's all in scripture. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. So again, that's what St. Paul says. So again, this is one of those ways that we this is a way that we symbolize that. So women, just as a woman would normally veil at her wedding for her bridegroom, so we veil in the presence of Christ, our bridegroom. So really, I mean, just that alone, that's very beautiful. St. Paul also said that nevertheless, in the Lord, woman is not independent of man, nor man of woman. For as woman was made from man, so man is now born of woman, and all things are from God. So again, that just shows how we are equal. And again, yes, woman was taken from the rib of Eve, was taken from the rib of Adam, but now, I mean, man is born of woman. Christ was born of Mary. That's why we refer to her as Mother of God. It's not like, oh, you're saying that, like that's, no, we're saying that, through the Holy Spirit, she conceived and bore a son, Jesus Christ, who was fully God and fully man. So again, this is women all through church history have been held in high esteem. I mean, look at how many women saints we have. What's wrong, sweetheart? You can't get to the port? I'm sure you'll be okay. Sir Michael is pirating, and things aren't going so well for him. Hang in there. Uh-oh, I think you crashed into an island. My goodness. Maybe a kraken's after you. It's all pirates, or it's the Titanic, because of where Daddy works. So it's all nautical. It's dinosaurs and nautical city around here. But, okay, so back to this. I just gave, some very good examples, beautiful examples of why we veil, why you may feel called to veil. I'm also going to give some practical reasons that I learned along the way as I started to do this. Okay, number one, I think you'll be okay. Hey, remember, pirates who whine walk the plank, right? Well, pirate up, little guy. I think somebody is taking a nap, so we'll probably do that after this. But anyway, oh no, it's probably too late for a nap. But okay, so one of the things that I learned is obviously I have a young child, and when I started veiling, I had a 1-year-old. I now have a 4.5-year-old. So getting ready in the mornings for Mass, or in the evenings if we're doing Saturday, if I'm cantoring, you're kind of in a hurry, making sure that you're dressed appropriately, that your child is dressed, that you've got the snacks and you've got the diapers or pull-ups or everything that a mom needs to do to get ready for Mass. There's a lot to do. And worrying about her hair is usually, you want to look good. So worrying about my hair has always been an issue. So now I don't have to worry about my hair. I just cover it. What, honey? Come here. Why don't you set it down? Come here a minute. Yeah. Okay. We'll just take a deep breath and okay, you'll be okay. Breathe bad. Breathe good in. Bad out. You want a hug? Come here, little pirate. Pirates can get hugs, can't they? Yeah, they can.
Pirates want to kill monsters. Pirates.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, big help is, again, I figured out that, as long as my hair was clean, if I had bedhead, if I was having a bad hair day, didn't matter, cover it, you're good to go. And so that right there saves so much time in the morning, or again, Saturday afternoon, if we're in the middle of stuff and we have to hurry up and switch gears and get ready for Mass, if I'm cantoring again.
I can't get to the port.
I'm sure you can. Oh, look, there's another ship. Why don't you go look?
Check the map.
You check the map. You do that. Okay. So, that right there is a great time saver. And again, so it doesn't matter. You can, you don't have to, if you're, dressing a little nicer to go to church, you don't have to feel like your hair is crazy. You just veil and suddenly you look beautiful. And I promise, and that's one thing people often say, especially if they're attending the ordinary form, the Novus Ordo, and they're like, well, I don't want to like distract other people. I had worried about that because when I started, I was the only person who was regularly attending and veiling, but nobody cared. Like, some people either knew what it was because I was wearing a mantilla, so a Spanish mantilla, so most people like recognized what it was, and others just didn't care. So it didn't like bother anybody, and if anyone asked, I would tell them why I was veiling. So if you're worried about it being a distraction, don't. That's not an issue. And another thing that kind of brings me to another point is that it actually, for myself, helped to keep me focused on the Mass and kind of block out other distractions. Again, when you have this on, first of all, when we're pulling up, if I'm driving, usually in the car or walking into church, as I put this on, I say a quick prayer asking God to, just help me to stay focused on Him and His Word, open my heart to receive His Word and receive the Eucharist, and it kind of gets me in the mindset that, this is, now it's time for worship. And one of the things is when I'm wearing this, and again, I'm gonna have to figure this out, like how to keep this on. But my other one, the clip, like once it's clipped, it's in there. Like even when I had a baby toddler, like pulling on it, it took a lot to like pull that thing off. So and you know what? He got so used to it, he didn't mess with it. Like some people worry about their babies, like he was used to me wearing it, so it was just part of me. And thank God he never messed with it. He never pulled on it. It really, except for maybe once or twice when he was just being in a silly mood or whatever. But just putting this on, it kind of like keeps you focused, so it helps keep you from distractions as well. So not only are you not, I promise you won't be causing a distraction by wearing one of these. And if you want to start out, they have smaller, like just like triangular, more like kerchief type, veils, or sometimes it's almost just like you could technically wear like almost just like a thick headband or something. It's really just about, some women wear hats, like a nice hat. So it's really, again, just about what you're comfortable with. But if you're feeling the call, just do it. Don't worry about it. Just do it. And I can almost completely guarantee that you won't regret doing it, at least trying it. And, once I wore it, I never went back. I have not gone to church without some form of covering since. And there have been a few times when I had to get creative because I might have forgotten my mantilla or not had a scarf while traveling or something. So, but I have always covered my head, and I'm not doing it in a prideful way. Again, it's humbling myself, but it's it's a decision I made, and I'm choosing to stick with it. And I have found it to be I've found nothing but graces poured out, because of it. There have been no drawbacks at all, ever. And one more thing I think I kind of touched on most of my things. It helps me in the morning, keeps me focused. Again, I wanted to read something. I've given you some of my reasons, my personal reasons for why I veil, some practical reasons for veiling. So really quickly, I wanted to read something. It's an excerpt from the chapel veil, symbol of the spouse of Christ, from St. John Chrysostom's Theology of the Veil. I think I just butchered his name. I'm sorry, St. John. But he says, "Woman, because she was created by being drawn from man's side, is constantly trying to return to him. She desires the original unity of one flesh and one bone. The desire for unity between man and woman is a mirror of the relationship between Christ and the soul. A woman longs for union with man in human relationships. She is also drawn to unity with God. He calls her to become one with him, to come under his side and become flesh of his flesh and bone of his bone. This occurs during the reception of the Eucharist. The covering of the head with a veil symbolizes the reality of woman sheltered in the side of her source and becoming one with him. She becomes covered and hidden in her divine spouse. I think that's just beautiful. And again, it just kind of backs up what I've already said. And again, for over 2,000 years, just like I've talked about, the Tridentine Mass, and how, for over 2,000 years, this is how, the Catholic Church has done things. For over 2,000 years, women wore some type of covering. This goes back to then. And again, it was not out of shame. It was out of reverence, and also, holding women in high esteem. So that's it. That's why I choose to veil. There are lots of resources. It's okay, baby. You'll find it. So I'm gonna hop off here. He's getting, I think he's gonna need like a short nap or something, but he definitely needs some cuddles. But I just wanted to, again, show you my beautiful new veil from Veiled by Tradition. Again, any tips on how to keep this thing on without a wig clip, or if I do get a wig clip, any ideas on, could I hot glue it? Is that weird to like hot glue it instead of sew? Because I am not a sewer. Otherwise, I will ask somebody around me. I know someone around here sews and would probably be happy to do it for me. But once again, one last time, just because this thing is absolutely beautiful. Again, this is called their Our Lady of Guadalupe green, which is absolutely beautiful, and I think it's going to be a great color for spring, and also during when we come out of Easter, because right now during Easter, the liturgical colors are like white and gold. During the like ordinary time, we go back to green, so I'll kind of be like liturgically correct. So anyway, again, this veil was purchased, ordered through Veiled by Tradition, which, again, it was free. I just paid $5 shipping. I also talked about my other veil, which I'm sure some of you have seen me wear. I wore it yesterday, and that was the Spanish Floral Mantilla by Veils by Lily. Again, both of them, just veilsbylily.com or veilbytradition.com. They're both on Instagram. You can look them up. They're both on Facebook. I encourage you to look them up. But again, if you're just starting out, just look at Veiled by Tradition. And both have resources on their Facebook pages and on their websites. If you want more like resources, if I didn't give you enough reasons to want to veil, or enough of an explanation, if I didn't go deep enough, there are plenty of resources out there. So go ahead, and I encourage you to check them out. And let me know if you veil. Let me know, and I would love to see pictures. And if you have like any questions or are feeling called to veil, I just again encourage you to pray about it. If you've been discerning it, and you're the main worries that I hear a lot of times are, like I said, that it's going to cause a distraction, or it's in some way, and like I said, it is not. And if anything, it can be a conversation starter. So make sure you're ready to tell them. And Veils by Lily has these little cards, like We Veil the Sacred, that gives, why do Catholic women wear veils at Mass, or Rediscover Reverence, are you considering veiling at Mass? So they have these little cards that you can like give out. Veiled by Tradition has a little pamphlet, in fact, that came with this, and it actually gave some of the same reasons that I gave. You can see on there. So again, there's conversation starters. But, You will not be a distraction. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. You won't regret it. When we humble ourselves and we do what we feel God is calling us to do, when do we ever regret it? I mean, really. So just, again, just prayerfully, don't think about it. Pray about it and then just do it. Again, you can order one if you're worried about maybe changing your mind. Order one through Veil by Tradition. That's what they're there for. If you can't really afford a really fancy veil, this again is beautiful and it's free. You just pay them $5 for shipping. So that's it. I think I've said all I needed to say. I've probably said it like 2 or 3 times over. So God bless you guys. Have a wonderful week. Pray for me. I'm praying for you. God bless. Peace be with you.